Urban Cat Coalition is dedicated to helping create a no-kill community by humanely reducing the homeless cat population in the Milwaukee area through targeted Trap Neuter Return. So that's our mission. We formed on February 1st, 2017. We focus on feral cats specifically, outdoor cats, community cats, unowned cats basically. The cats that people see outside and feed but don't necessarily know what else to do with them. So we specifically focus on TNR, which is Trap Neuter Return. And we will go out and we'll trap the community cats that people are feeding usually when they're having a lot of kittens. And we'll trap them, we'll take them into a spay neuter clinic, and then hold them for recovery, and then we will return them to the outdoor colonies. Some of the kittens we'll put into foster care. In 2020, which was a crazy year because all the shelters closed intake in the spring, which is when all the kittens are, being born. So we didn't feel like we had any choice but to take them because, that's our entire mission, is to try to keep those from reproducing. And if we would have left those hundreds of cats out and no one is spaying and neutering and no one is taking them in, we just saw everything exploding, before our eyes. So in 2020, we took in 735 cats and kittens. 151 of those were from MADAC. So those are the cats that they give us that are either pregnant or recently had kittens, because cats and kittens should not be in shelters. There's just too much chance for diseases and stuff. And then also we were able to socialize those kittens. And actually a lot of the moms too came around and got adopted. And then 553 of those cats were ones that we just trapped. So there was a ton of moms and kittens, a ton. We don't usually have so many. And then we also had a lot born in care this year, which was a goal to avoid this year. But because we couldn't spay anybody, we had months with no spay neuter. So at least they were contained where they weren't going to go out and keep on reproducing. But at the same time, it was a very heavy burden for a lot of our foster homes and definitely a lot of our admin trying to keep track of everything. We got a much better handle on how to care for kittens and moms last year. So this year we didn't spend so much on vet because we knew to deworm, we knew to vaccinate. We've learned a lot in the last 3 years. So we ended up, out of those cats, we ended up adopting 440 cats and kittens out just in 2020, and we returned 211 to their colonies. So it was a huge year. I mean, we still have carryover now from last year, but not what you would expect. With coronavirus and everything, people were home and people were adopting. Even still, we have way more applications than we have cats. So the community's been huge, supporting that. And with donations, there's no way we could have spay neutered, 700 some cats without donations from the community. So it was a really hard year, but it was also a really great year at the same time. Kittens are very expensive because they come in, sometimes they're born in care, sometimes they're a week old, but the amount of food they eat is drastically larger than what adults eat. So feed kittens a ton of food. They use a ton of litter. They go through a lot of dewormer and our vaccinations. And then the spay neuters luckily we are able to use a discount clinic, but it's still the same as the public pays. So it's $110 a cat just to spay neuter. And then a lot of the times we have cats that may be ill or have some kind of disease or whatever, and they need to see a vet. So that one cat could cost us $800. And then maybe the rest of the kittens are fine, or maybe the whole litter has issues, Kittens are so expensive. Adults, usually they'll just come in, maybe they need a spay neuter, they're relatively healthy, and then they're adopted out. Or they're TNR'd. And in both cases, they don't cost us a ton of money. So with people donating on Facebook, we did some virtual events that were kind of fun. We had people, pay money to name kittens this year. That was fun. But yeah, if we didn't have that, that money for those kittens, man. Definitely help out at events and a lot of our admin stuff. So we're very digital. We don't have a brick or mortar. So a lot of our volunteers will only do stuff from home. So if it's entering medical information into our database or uploading pictures to Facebook or posting, our adopted cats, a lot of times we have so much stuff to do that you would probably never even touch a cat. There's just so much back end work, financials, medical.
Grant writing, that kind of stuff too?
We could definitely use a grant writer. We don't have one specifically right now. We kind of just wing it amongst ourselves, but that would definitely be beneficial. Different ways of dealing with cat populations. So in Texas specifically and in other areas, they're doing something called shelter, neuter, return, or return to home. So instead of having cats being picked up and taken to animal control, the animal control will actually take the cats, neuter them, and then record the address where they came from and take them back. Or they'll tell people, you know, if the cat is healthy and not reproducing and looks like someone's caring for it, keep it outside, don't bring it in. And that's because the largest majority of cats that don't find their way home are the ones that are taken to the animal shelters. There's lots of data on like animals that are just taken back to where they were found and they go home because they only live 3 houses away. The only time that they don't recommend that is if the cat is sick, if it's skinny and it looks like it doesn't know where the food sources are, that kind of thing. So that's probably a long ways down the road, but we're trying to support, you know, our animal controls and humane society to eventually get there, and that's going to be through like legal changes, I think, in the community. We ended up doing a lot more adoptions than we ever planned on doing, but it's kind of what happens when you come across kittens after, you know, litters and litters of kittens. So we're still trying to do more TNRs and adoptions, but we haven't gotten there yet.